Hey guys, welcome to the channel. It's Adam with ND72. So what we got today is my E55. She's a little warm right now because we got to drive her in. As you can see, it is pitch effing black outside. Okay? I am on a effing time crunch to get my car ready for FL2K. So that means I'm going to be working kind of late. I got a little partner over there. She's going to be helping with stuff. Maybe some heavy lifting, maybe camera work, or just making it a positive environment. So what we're going to be doing today is installing my VTech top mount intercooler setup. I know, how cool. So I'm going to try to show you a step-by-step of how I do it. Try to give you as much data as I could. But if I forget something, just ask me in the comments and I'll try to help you out. So we're going to start doing the easy part. Step 1, pulling the car in. Step 2, we're going to be pulling off these surge tanks. So I'm going to start getting some Torx and some Allens and start ripping these bad girls off. So one thing to remember about these surge tanks, you see how one of mine is an Allen? That's because I got the wrong torque and I destroyed a few of these. So just do not do that. So it's pretty easy. You're going to take bam, 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 and one hidden one back here. Come on with the camera, little girl. You got a hidden one right there to take off. Okay, see where my finger is? So you're going to take all these off, and do remember, these are different lengths. That's one length, this is. Just keep them all together, and you got a metal gasket down there. So we're going to get some tools, I'm going to rip these off. Yeah. Okay, so I got the surge tanks off, they're on the table. Next thing, I'm going to need to start getting this belt out of the way. So you got to remove this little shroud over here, which is a 10 mil. So you're going to do a few bolts over here, and then swing it out of the way. And then I like to remove the fan, just because I got to get this belt off. So it's really simple, these 10 mils just go boop. Boop. Now you might have more bolts. I've lost a few of mine over time, but not bad. Pull that out. Pull your radiator support stuff out, and then this will swing out. Also, my weather stripping, I kind of just toss it kind of over. And now, look at all the rooms you got for your radiator. Granted, I know my fan is broken, but heck, that sucks. Now you just get your little screwdriver, because I got to get the fan out. So you just pop these little clips out. 1, 2, and then unplug your fan. Now, you don't really have to do this step. I just do it because it makes it so much easier to get to the belt. So we're just going to pull that away. Granted, this will dump out coolant. I had to flush it anyways. And now you're going to come right down here. You probably can't really see it, but I'll undo this clamp for the coolant line so I get that fan out easily. And it's going to make a little bit of a mess, though. And be careful with these clips, because they do suck when they pop. So we're going to pull this coolant and do the bottom one so we get this fan out of the way. Okay, had a little brain fart. Didn't need to remove any of this. But I at least got it out of the way in case I need to route some lines. I completely forgot the supercharger right here to pull the belt off. I completely forgot about that. So didn't need to remove it, but maybe it'll help me out. So we're going to pull this off and swing that out. Helper, you want to pull that belt? Okay, I got it. All right, there you go. Now we got the belt off. Next, what we're going to do next are these lines over here. These are the intercooler lines. So we're going to get these off. We're going to dump some water out. Yes, it's going to get on the floor. Yes, it's going to suck, but I already dumped all that coolant down there. So start pulling these out. All right, next I'm going to do the fuel rail. So this is an E10. So it should be 4 of them. One there, one there, one there, and one there. And then you're going to gingerly pop it up, and then I'm going to swing it over. Now, if you want to completely remove it, you can break it right there, which is a 17. You'll probably get fuel everywhere, but it's not that bad. All right, so next you're going to get the secondary air pump. So you might have a whole contraption over here. I deleted mine, so if you see it's just a 5 mil right down here. Allen, for me, I'm just going to take these off. You're going to need these to remove the supercharger. And when you do it, this is the part I'm going to tell you about. There's gaskets under here. Be very careful. Do not lose the gasket. And if you want to make sure you keep it in the right order, just literally take it off. So you got your gaskets. This is my ECS, secondary air pump delete stuff. So I'm just going to literally lead it with the bolt and everything and put it down. So you got 2 of them, one on each side. And then you can start doing your actual supercharger bolts. So we're going to knock these off first. This one's a little bit harder to get to, but just be careful. Worst thing I want to do is lose the gasket and then try to hunt one down. Granted, I do got other motors with the gasket, so it's not that big a deal for me. Might be for you. Alright, next. The bolts we're going to be looking for are, come on in, Mr. Camera Lady, or Mrs. Camera Lady, right here. Can you see my finger? Right in that hole are Torx. You're going to have one there, and one there. So 3 on each side of the supercharger. Also, what you want to make sure you're doing, you do this at any time, unplug your sensors. You got your air intake sensor right here, okay? And then your map sensor right down there. So, see your map? Where my finger is, air intake. Unplug those two. Okay, so now we're going to get those bolts I was talking about. It's a, what is it, T45. So I got it on an extension with like a little bit of a ball situation on there. You don't really need that. So you're going to start breaking these loose. I'm not going to slam it with the impact. I'm going to use, or the ratchet, I'm going to use as a, see, they come off. Whiz it. Also, do not drop anything into your motor at this point. So we're going to knock all mine out. Also, I recommend you get a magnet. Jesus Christ. Stay, Mr. Light. So you get a magnet to get those bolts. Ooh. Might have to get a bar. There you go. 1. And you're just going to do, they should be identical one on the same side. Like if you do one side, you should be able to do the other. So we're going to knock all those out. And then we'll go from there. Alright, now we got everything undone. There might be like a hose here or a plug here. I forgot to tell you guys, but just search everything up. Once you got everything kind of disconnected, the supercharger should lift immediately up. This thing's heavy as heck, and there's 2 gaskets under here, so don't rip them. So I'm going to hop in the engine bay. I'm going to start lifting it up and going slowly. So when you do this, just go slow and go steady. Easier if you have a helper, or if you look right here, there's actually lifting points that the factory Mercedes way they want you to do it, is you lift it from here. I'm not going to do that because I'm lazy. Do I have the equipment? Yes. Do I have the harness? Yes. Do I have everything? Heck yeah. I'm on a time crunch. Hopefully this doesn't go horribly wrong. I've done it before by myself. And now I got a little helper, so if the camera seems like it's going down, that's because I'm about to drop it and she's coming in to help. So, now, do not hop in your engine bay if you weigh too much. I weigh a comfortable, I'm not going to say because I'm a lady, just kidding. But I'm going to start lifting it up and just don't step on anything, you're going to crack. Whoop. Trunk stuff. Normally I do this barefooted, so it should be a lot easier with actual shoes on. Put the camera down, April. So we got my supercharger out. It is a little bit bulky, a little bit hard. So now you can see I'm going to bring the other intercooler out. But you see all these lines and everything? Not going to even worry about that anymore. And if you can see this, look at this whole side right here. Do you see this little bulge? All gone. So we're going to start pulling this apart and start working on it and start transferring everything over that we need. But so far it's pretty easy. Hopefully it's going to be easier to install. And then if you look over here, we're going to examine my engine. One thing I do recommend, cover all your ports. Throw some rags down there, clean up all your stuff, because I did spill some liquid, I did spill some gas. But we're going to clean all this stuff up before we throw it back on there, and then keep moving. Alright, so now we got everything all ripped off and on the bench. We're going to start by taking these lines off. It's just literally Phillips, just so I could get to these 4 bolts over here that are holding the supercharger. So my setup's a little bit different. The only really difference is my bolt's right. Where is it? Right? I'm trying to find. Right here. Can you see it? Where's my finger? Right down there. That's an Allen for me. It's probably a Torx, but it should just be those 2 bolts on each side. And then these 4. These are going to be a T45. So you should be using a T45 for these. So I'm going to crack my lines loose just because my fittings are blocking that bolt. Alright, so we got it all separated. Now we got some goo on there, which I will clean all this stuff up and everything. And I'm going to have to remove the bypass valve from over there. So now we're at the part where what I'm going to be doing is just, first of all, check my rotors. Alright, they're not bad. There's a little scoring right there, though. There definitely is a little scoring on that rotor. Like, I don't know, it's kind of like something got in there. You see that right there? If you can see that angle. I don't want to watch what I touch it with. But I can't get my fingernail in it, so it's not that bad. But they spin easily. Not a lot of side play. So we'll clean all this stuff up. And then we're going to start moving over everything we need to move over. It should be bypass valve and map sensor. And then the new setup shouldn't need any of that, but I'm going to go to rag and start cleaning everything up and then start getting ready. Man, look at that cool little VRP billet throttle body setup. Not bad, but let's start cleaning this all up and moving it over. All right, right here you can compare a difference between the stock one and the aftermarket one. First of all, now you can see actually what tanks kind of were cut off. So over here where water would flow in, you don't got that anymore. And before, like how you could see down the intercooler and all that stuff, that whole area is bored all out. And here's like where the air intake temp sensor goes. That is all welded up, but just weight-wise, holy crap, that one is so much heavier. Like, I can literally lift this with 2 fingers. This one I can't. This thing's like a brick. I might actually weigh those just to see how much you lose weight off the supercharger setup. That's way it's easier to install. Let me go weigh them really quick, just for funsies. So the factory is 11.2. Let's see what this aftermarket one is. Reset. About 6 pounds it was. So that's not bad. So that means when you're lifting this next time, you lost about 4 pounds. Oops, some debris in there. Good thing I just caught that out of my supercharger. So you lost a little bit of weight, so it'll be easier to transfer it. So now what we're going to do, we're going to put the bypass valve on there and start flipping over the other stuff. Like make sure you flip over the map sensor before you do anything crazy. And then it's ready to get glued right back onto the factory supercharger housing. And then back onto the car. Alright, so now that we got our little gasket, the Mercedes factory ATRV, can't even remember what it's saying right now, brain fart. We made a little gasket over here. Now on my SLK32, it actually has its own gasket, but mine never really did on my E55. So, and then also I put a little dielectric grease because this is where that little donut goes. So now we can start merging everything back on, and we should be good. Alright, so we got everything transferred over, and man, it's looking pretty snazzy. So, it all bolted up pretty well. My only really concern kind of is, like, I always had concern about getting these donuts in, because that looks like it's a little protruding a little bit. So, I might have to push on that a little bit more to make it pop in, but I'm hoping I don't get no boost leak from there. That has nothing to do with the VTEC kit. It's literally, I don't think I pushed that in all the way, but it does look pretty good. Everything got moved over. I got the map sensor over here. We got basically everything over. So now we're ready to throw it back in the car. So what I'm going to do is just kind of clean this up a little bit. Move some stuff around just so it's easy just hopefully to drop right on. Alright, now we're going to do the hard part of putting the supercharger back on. So I got new gaskets of these just because it's in the bottom of it. So also what I did in a little trick, if you see I got little dowels. So these are just cut off bolts. See? That I put there to make sure the gasket doesn't slide. And also I'm putting a little piece of padding over here, so we can rest the supercharger as I hop in here. This is so much easier with 2 people, so they can basically move stuff out of the way and just assist. So do be safe, because this thing is not light. Granted, it's like 4 pounds lighter now, but it's not super light. So my assistant and me are going to start throwing it in. So another little helpful hint, if you put a little bit of like dielectric grease or something on there, then these bolts will stick to it. So when you're going down in those holes, they don't actually fall into anything, because you can see like, now I could go vertical. Now it's not going to last forever like glue. But it'll go for a little bit, and then you can just wipe it right off at the end. So we got the supercharger and everything back on. Right now, we're mocking up the intercoolers. Ran into a few problems. This is just me. First of all, my one problem, you need to take all these off. These are the factory holders that hold up the factory earbox. They got it removed. Also, I have 550 injectors with these harnesses. Make sure that they're pulled all the way over here, because if you put it over here, you have a chance of crushing it. So, right now I'm hitting this, so we're going to take this last one off. And hopefully I'm not hitting anything more, because I got that side on there like pretty flush, not like bolted up. But I was like, look, you can even see I was slamming it right there. So we're going to start doing that, and then I'm going to start plumbing up the lines and see what I need to buy for little like brass fittings or copper fittings or whatever, just to make it work. Okay, so we're at the plumbing and the mock-up. So my idea is, remember these aren't bolted in. So here is the fittings and stuff that VTEC gives you. So for this side of the unit, it actually does look like it goes pretty good, and then you could just go straight. Like if you could see, so his lines look like they do run that wall pretty good, and then you use his hosing to go straight. And then you would just need, like, I'm pretty sure with the normal hose bend you can make it smooth, but I would put a 90 there. But with this side of going this way, you literally hit, if you could see, let me get a light on that. You hit right here. And I already cut it, because normally they're this long, and I cut it right there. So, not gonna fully work, I could cut it and just throw a 90 right there, and then I come to my little Ys here. So I bought these just right off of Amazon. They go right into my factory size line hosing. Now, if I would have upgraded the hosing, like I probably should have planned to, but I didn't get enough stuff, then I would go with the bigger, but this is still 3/4 inch stuff. So it's not super small. It's not fully factory. I think factory's 5/8, so it's a little bit bigger. But, so my plan is, I got a few fittings all over here. I just went to the hardware store and just went through my like scrap bin. So this is 3/4 inch 90s. So what my plan is to do is I'm just going to like literally get one of my brass 90s to go from out here. And then it'll be a brass 90 that goes there. And just come right into over here. And then I can run all my lines in like this little area. So that should be far enough away from anything heat. And back here, you're going to be pretty effing high up. So you're not going to be running it. The other way I was thinking about doing it is running one this way and one that way. But then I'm like crossing over all the belt stuff. And I didn't really want to like deal with that. So I think the simplest way, and I should have enough room. Now I will have to basically measure it all up because like here's one of the pipes. So this piping goes right there. Now, the couplers, I have to adjust it, but as you can see, this intercooler clears that 100%. Will not even come close to hitting it. So now the intercooler side that I bring from the driver's side, that, once this is all snugged, should fit right back here, or I'll have enough room to go over and under. So we're going to start cutting and trying and see if that works out. Also, so what you want to do, see in this picture, see this right side line that has the mark on it? That's going to be your cold, left side hot. So when you're doing the intercooler piping, make sure you do right side cold, left side hot. It's pretty easy if you just think about it. The colder air is going to come in first, and the hot air, or the hot water, will come in last. So we're going to start mocking this up and get the lines built. So, giving you a brief of how I'm doing the plumbing. I have a straight and a straight. They're staggered for clearance. This is 3/4 inch line hosing. Now, eventually, would I like to like weld A&M bongs on there and all this stuff? Yeah, but I'm a little bit time crunched. This is what I have in the garage and what I could get at Home Depot. So this is going to be the driver's side. So it's basically going to do a 90 that goes around there. And then here's the passenger side, which I kind of already started. So it's the same thing. You got the 90 that comes up, and then I have 90s that go here. So then this hose will loop over, and then they will meet on these two. So one, I just got to figure out which one's the supply, which one's return. And then I got my little Ys that I think I showed you already over here. And then the plumbing of it should be complete. Now, next thing I will have to do, I'm going to have to go just get stuff for the breathers. It came with, the kit does come with hoses and a T. But I don't know if I want to do that. I might just kind of like have like a teeny little valve over here where I just open and close to breathe it, to bleed it. But it should be not bad. That's like the stuff I'm not worried about. I want all this plumbed up and make sure it looks clean and out of the way first. But so far, the side's looking pretty good. It's not bolted in. I just got one bolt, so it still wiggles a little bit. But this part went in pretty easily. Once again, not a big fan of the blue. Wish it was black. But down the line, I'll just upgrade those. All right, so we got all the water lines plumbed. Like I said, I got them routing over here. This is a big cluster of stuff. And when you get these, one thing I will say, okay, so this is almost like a perfect fit for the straps and the couplers. So take a couple tries to get them on. You got to get them the best way. Another thing I have to say, I think it was just my kit. This tank, if you can see right there, it had a little bit too much paint, and I couldn't get my bolt in, so I just had to chip it away a little bit. So that's not bad. We got all of our water lines. I'm going to zip tie them up. I do need to actually fire up the pumps and see which one's main or cold, hot, blah, blah, blah. But it should be pretty straightforward right from here. I just got to zip tie it all up, clean it up. And then the next thing I have to do is, yeah, I know this looks like a big cluster back here. Somewhere back here, I know I laid it somewhere, is the actual, yep, there it is. So I need to extend this harness. Now, VRP makes an extension harness, allegedly, but I just can't get it in time because I need to get my air intake temp sense right there. But besides that, I got everything up. I do want to like zip tie and make everything else clean and then wipe this all down. But not bad progress, not bad. And I do need to trim and clean these up. But everything should work. My Ys should go right there. So we're going to basically, I'm going to go take a little breather, and then we're going to keep knocking it out. Okay, so we got everything buttoned up, well, more or less, all plumbed up. I still need to zip tie this out of the way and all that stuff. And then, so also we did, here's our breathers. I originally wanted to just do like a little like valve, like choo-choo-choo. So I still might do that, but I did run that hose and connect it over here to a nice little T. Now, I'm not so sure if I even like this, because I might just like literally get rid of this whole top part system and then just do a cap or a valve to bleed them out. But we got all the plumbing done, got belts back on. I'm not going to fire up the car because we don't have the radiator in yet, and I don't have that, I didn't deal with that wiring yet. But I just want to make sure I got no leaks, like the intercoolers aren't cracked or anything stupid, because they did get damaged over shipping, which that sucks, but let's see. So this is going to be one pump. So we got it in position 1 with one pump. I don't hear or see any leaks. Let's make sure the water's flowing. Oh, yeah. Alright, so we're getting bubbles out right now. Yeah, that water's flowing good. Let's go look at the tank. Ooh, I still got to tighten all up, but that should be okay. Let's see how much flow we got in the tank with. This is just my one roll pump running right now. Just I didn't want to blast anything out. Alright, it's coming through the tank pretty good. So, not bad. Now we're going to put the rest of the car back together, and then we'll try to do the fire up. Oh wait, I take that back. First, I got to deal with my wiring stuff. But it's not looking bad. Alright, so we got everything basically all done up, all good. I got some of my wiring just hanging off a little bit, but I want to fire it up and just see, like, make sure I don't got any stupid leaks, make sure there's no water pissing out anywhere. Nothing really crazy like that, so we're going to fire up the car right now. And hopefully it does fire up and doesn't blow effing up. I don't see why it would, but you never really know. Seems to be doing pretty well. We're going to let it sit for a while. Now, yeah, I don't have my fan and my radiator just because I want to be able to have a good view of everything before I put all that back up, so I can't let it run for too long. But at least I'll hopefully figure out if there's anything crazily wrong. All right, everything running, I mean, the pumps, like, it's not really that much, like, restriction, if any. As you can see, it's still shooting out pretty good. I probably got a few bubbles in the system I still got to get out, but car's been running for a little bit. And this is without the new tune. And we're AFRs are like at 15. It seems pretty good. Not bad yet. I don't really feel any like crazy amount of heat or anything weird coming off of anything. Alright, let's see if it sounds any really different. I mean, I got my filter off, but see if it gives a nice little whine. Pretty effing loud. So, I'm going to button it all up. I do got to fix my harness, make it a little bit better. I'm going to get like a crap load of zip ties and zip tie everything down. Polish this little bad girl up. Make it look a lot nicer, because one disadvantage of the white, as you can see, my fingerprints are all over it. But I'm going to also let it fire up one more time, let it run for a little bit. I got no leaks, no nothing really. I'm hoping I got no air leaks, that I didn't like miss something or like bend a gasket or bend something or something stupid like that. But we're going to end the video there, because my next one I'm actually going to go take it out and do data. I just didn't want to make this video like super effing long. And I got FL2K coming up, so I'm going to be kind of like busting my butt and filming to slow me down a little bit. But I hope you guys like this video, and I'm hoping these top mounts will drop my air intake temp extremely. I mean, it legitly should. I'm going from one intercooler like core in the V, which basically is going to be heated, to two that are now on the top of the motor and kind of like put away from heat. Well, not really put away, but like a lot farther away from heat than the V one is. So I'm hoping this will gain me like a lot more. I wouldn't really say it's like I'm going to gain power out of it. It's going to let me keep using my power for longer. Hopefully I don't hit like 180 air intake temps so quickly now. So we'll go test it out in the next video. If not, or most likely it'll be the next video, unless something stupidly happens and I get like an air leak and I got to rip it all back apart. But I don't really see that happening unless it was something I did, which that always could happen. But hopefully you guys like the video. Hopefully you guys like the channel. And if you guys want one of these cool sets, hit up VTech. You can find them on Facebook. I think you can find them on Instagram and all that stuff. And a lot of people would ask me about the price. Hit them up for the price. Now, it's not cheap, but it's not inexpensive. It's going to be roughly, I think, like $3,500. It's for everything I have. But don't quote me on that price because he might do a little bit of discount if he gets like 10 people to do it. But also, now people are saying, oh, the VRP one, oh, doesn't cost that much. When you actually price out the VRP one, it costs more than that. Because to give it the same kind of idea as this, is you got to get the top mount kit from them. You have to get their billet surge tanks. Then you need to go get the whole intercooler on the bottom, cut, welded, and all done up by someone. So it comes up to be the same, if not maybe a little bit more. But don't quote me on that. So, but the next video I'm going to be taking out, testing it out. We're going to be romping on this bad girl. We're going to be having some fun on it. And it is still effing 90 degrees in Florida, so the outside temperature should not really affect me that much. But hopefully you guys like it. And if you do like this one and you're still not sure if you want this one or the VRP one or the DDK one, contact one of those companies. Tell them you saw my video. Maybe they'll send me some free stuff. If VRP will legitly send me a free or super heavily discounted top mount setup, I have. If you can see, I have an SL55. I have a CLS 55. Don't send it to me for the CL, but for my SL, I'll throw it on the SL and I will legitly do a side-by-side comparison on the same day in Florida, same temps, and I will put that car on my SL. If they send me something like that, I will add boost to it like that. And we'll have a good comparison. But I'll catch you guys later, and hopefully you like the video.
Weird.